11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think Canelo won it.
Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano.
Smile from Manny Pacquiao. Oh, counter serve!
Derecha en dos oportunidades. El Canelo alcanzó ese daño con él.
What's going me already with the support? What's up, D-Style? How's it going, brother? Thank you for the support. Shout out to Jesus M in the building. Nando Llamas also appreciate it, brother. Join me as low as 99 cents a month. You can join the movement, but at the very least, hit the like button. It helps. Visibility, the whole nine. Subscribe if you like the content. Check this out. So, Canelo living rent free on everybody. Like every other video, Canelo this, Canelo that. Why did Canelo fight? What should fight Benavidez? Benavidez. No other fight makes sense. Do it now. Drop what he. Fuck what you got going on. You got to do what you got to do. People are doing polls. People are doing live streams. Together, joining forces, right? People are joining. Gentlemen, Canelo is bringing people of all walks of life together. You know, like he's bringing them together. They're coming forces. They're joining. You know, they're forming who I am calling them. They're calling each other, FaceTime. You know what I mean? This is crazy. But I talked about that the last time, but here's the deal, right? There's nothing wrong with bringing up the fact that you want to see Benavidez fight Canelo. Nothing. In fact, I'll take it a step further. That's reasonable. It's reasonable to say. It makes sense to say that. Okay? That makes all the sense in the world. My opinion, and I think it's shared by most fans, that is to make it 168 pounds in terms of a lot of things, but in terms of being a big event, mega blockbuster event, it's probably, it might be the biggest fight in boxing. Bigger than Crawford Smith. I think it is. This is what it is. Like, Canelo's just a lot more popular, just a bigger name than those guys. Benavidez, you know, we'll see what the pay-per-view numbers were. If they're more than anything Crawford's ever sold, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you know what I mean? Well, we'll see where it goes. But what I know is this. What we already know is that Canelo's going to fight in May. He's going to fight in September. And right in May, a homecoming fight over in Mexico. And then he's going to come back more Bivol, right? That's not ironclad. It doesn't mean that's what's more than likely what's going to happen. All right? More than likely, that's the fight. The question, like here's the thing. Question a million times. Why don't you want to see the Benavidez fight? Yes. Short answer, yes. So why do you demand for it? I'll give you my best shot, okay? Canelo, can you fight Benavidez? There, okay? I did it. I for several reasons for Canelo. All right? I think it's a more exciting fight. It would be a fight of the year candidate, in my opinion. Okay, Canelo wins the fight. You know, we've seen the Bivol fight, and that could end up being the same thing all over again. Nonetheless, I don't mind. Like it's not the end of the world if he fights Bivol first. Like, it's not the end of the world if Canelo fights Bivol first. And this is triggering people. It's making people mad. In fact, I'm seeing a lot. So let's do what Canelo fans mean versus how people are interpreting what they're saying. A lot of people are reading. They think they could read the minds of people and are making a lot of assumptions, conclusions, okay? That's number one. First of all, if you want to do a live, whoever, if you want to go on Twitter, if you want to go on Instagram, if you want to go, TikTok's the other one now, right? If you want to come on a YouTube, this one right here, shout out to you guys, by the way. I see you. If you want to, like, voice your opinion, you have every right to do it. Enough. But if you're going to make statements, if you're going to make, right, especially exaggerated ones, and if you're going to come with statements, don't get angry, don't get upset, right? Like, don't get in the bunch. Don't get flustered. By the way, check my mic. I had the crappy mic on. You guys didn't tell me. I had the crappy mic, but it is what it is. Nobody told me, D-Style, your mic was shit. No, nobody told me that. But it is what it is. I have to make the adjustment myself. All right? Like, hey, wait, dude, Mike vale verga. Like, no, nobody said anything. Unbelievable. You guys let me down. I'm just saying. All right? I don't want to put you in a spot. I don't want to get preachy and angry like some YouTubers do out here. You know what I mean? But I don't want to do that. But here's what I'll say. Bruce Goss was about to tell me. He was about to do it. You know what I mean? Anyways. But now we got the big mic working. All right? Is that cool? Let's talk right now about things that are being said. Okay? First of all, when things like, I don't know, all these Canelo fans are attacking me and coming after me, right? If things like that are said, or I'm seeing them everywhere. I mean, they're spamming my Twitter everywhere. I'm seeing Canelo fans saying they don't want the Benavidez fight. I'm seeing it it's everywhere. If you're gonna say something like that, if you're gonna say Canelo fans are stopping the Benavidez fight from happening, they're actively campaigning against the fight. Canelo fans are saying, I even saw Coach Malik, shout out to Coach, he did a video, he did a live, because D-Style Boxing says names. I say names out here. All right? Because you show respect when you say names. All right? And he titled a video saying, oh, Canelo fans don't want the Benavidez fight. That's a very broad statement. That's broad. That's vague. That's painting with a broad brush. And no great work of art has ever been painted with a broad brush. You don't see any fine details on a painting with a broad brush. You don't see those beautiful paintings that a Leonardo or Donatello or Raphael or and by the way, I'm not a scholar or nothing. I'm just going by the Ninja Turtles, right? But nonetheless, they were named after artists. So it still counts. It still counts, damn it. All right? So what we need to understand here is if we're going to be saying things like that, there has to be some type of consensus or understanding. There has to be a reasonable amount of people doing it. You can't just go find the fringe of the fringe and then act like it's everybody. Don't tell me tanks are rolling up, right? Don't tell me the bazookas are out and there's a whole army the size of China's army, like coming after me. Look at this army that's stopping the fight from happening. And then when I look out the window, I see a platoon. I see like 5 fuckers. And they're not even saying they don't want to see the fight. They're saying things like, I would like Benavidez to fight one more big fight before I see it. What you could say is still like protecting, right? But that's the best you could find. That's the best you could do. That's it. Spicy. Spicy's been out here. Look, shout out to Spicy. She's actually been in my lives. I would like to talk to Spicy. I don't agree with what Spicy's saying. She's saying, "Oh, I'm not impressed. I think he should fight Moriel instead. I would rather Canelo fight somebody else." Now, she still didn't say no fight, but I'll take it. Right? I'll take it. Are there Canelo fans that go out there and they say things, they call him Canelo and you know, it's Canelo all day, every day. Almost every big name fighter has fans like that. All fighters, not just Canelo, have fans like that. And me, since I'm one of the YTBC originals, since I'm one of the ones that was here from the very beginning and active, and one of the ones in the mix, by the way, throughout this whole time, I can tell you right now that comparing Canelo fans to Pactards, the way the Pactards were back then, or the Flomos, the way the Flomos were back then, right? Making any sort of comparison like that is absolutely ridiculous, all right? It is. It is, because you got to go on a scavenger hunt to find a lot of these unreasonable Canelo fans. You just do, okay? It's just the way it is. Canelo has millions of fans, millions of them. Millions. But I got to keep hearing about this group. Oh, look at all these fans. They're everywhere. You don't know if they're troll accounts. Most of them are faceless. You don't know they're just fucking with you. You don't know if, how many of them actually do content. They don't have to show their face. Just voice alone. How many of them? How many of them, okay, are actual people and not sock puppet accounts? In many cases, we don't even know. And even then, it's not a lot. Even then, it's not that many. It just isn't. Now, granted, everything is context, right? Not to get twisted. So, if you ask me, D-Style, I'll go through all the type of questions. Do you want to see the Benavidez fight? Yes. D-Style, should the fight happen in September? If it were up to me, let's do it. Right? I mean, is that too much to ask? Like, what? Is that not good enough? Right? If it was up to me, the fight would be happening in September. It's not up to me, though. It's not up to me. Why isn't it up to me? Because Saul Canelo Alvarez is being stubborn. Okay? He has an ego. He's a competitor at the highest level. Competitor. Okay? And Saul Canelo Alvarez, ego was bruised, right? His ego was more bruised than his face. And his face was pretty bruised against Bivol. And he wants to run it back. He said, this doesn't end like this. So he wants to run it back. And when he didn't run it back immediately and he fought Golovkin instead, because that's the fight those don't want it, nobody really wanted the third Golovkin fight. We keep it honest. But it's whatever. We took it. I wasn't a big fan of the fight. I was very vocal about that at the very beginning. Okay? Most people were. But when he went that route, we had the H monies and we had mostly H money. Shout out to H money. All right? You know, H money doesn't get emotional when like you know what I mean? So it is what it is. So I could say his name. All right? But when H money was out here, D-Style, he ducked Bivol. Why he ducked the Bivol smoke? He's scared of fighting Bivol again, right? Canelo doesn't want to go the rest of his career hearing people say you could never have beaten Bivol. There's nothing you could have done. You wouldn't have beat him anyway. And you ducked him. You ducked the smoke. No matter what route you go, he doesn't want that. He's being stubborn. Okay? He's being an aferrado. All right? He's rolling up his sleeve and he's saying, I want to do this shit again because this shit's not going to end this way. You don't need to like it. I don't need to like it. But a couple questions. Is Bivol not one of the best fighters on the planet? The answer is yes. Does Bivol not have the style that's giving Canelo the most problems? The answer is yes. Bivol already has a win. We don't need to wonder if Bivol could beat Canelo. Like, we don't have to ask, could he beat him? Like, he's already done it. Most people scored it 8 rounds to 4, 9 rounds to 3. Some people had a 10-2. Most people just don't see a pathway to victory for Canelo. So to say, what are you saying? He's going an easy route, right? This isn't about preference. I gave you my preference. It's about the reality of the situation. And it's the alternative to what I would rather have good enough. And it is. Because it's still a top-tier opponent. It's still a bigger threat. It's still a worse style matchup for him, right? And it's something that he is insisting, right? And it's something that he wants to do. We don't need to like it, but you could understand it. You could take a step back and be like, you know what? Okay. So we need to understand, right? We need to kind of analyze the situation for what it is. And let's be objective about it. Okay? We need to be objective with what the situation is. We need to be objective, right? Like be fair in your analysis. Okay, be clear-headed. Like I said, I would prefer the Benavidez fight. It's not that hard to do, but you could also understand the situation. You could analyze it. You could say, you know what? Yeah, like, that's fine. Like, he could fight Benavidez in 2024. Like, the fight could happen next year in Cinco de Mayo, right? That favors Benavidez. Benavidez is in his active prime. On the way up to the tip of the hill, Canelo is on his way down from the tip of the hill. This favors Benavidez anyway. At the end of the day. So he's not doing it to favor himself. He's not doing it because it's better for him. He's not aging out Benavidez. He's the one aging out at this point. He's the one with the lingering injuries. He's the one with the bad knee. He's the one that's now in his third fucking division as champion, right? The third up anyway. He's been 4-time, but his third division up, right? Tank on his second division up is doing catch weights and rehydration clauses, right? So let's be, mindful of what we're talking about here. What percentage of Canelo fans are out here actively campaigning against the Benavidez fight? What percentage? Is it really 75%? Because if that was the case, we would see it everywhere. Because Canelo has the most fans. He has millions of fans. You would see it everywhere if that was the case. You wouldn't have to do a scavenger hunt. You wouldn't have to be out in the crowd looking for it. It wouldn't take a long time to come up with names, and it's still like debatable if that's what they're saying. Like that's just the truth, the fact of the matter. Okay, so now we have people coming in. We got the disgruntled Triple G fans, right? We got the Eastern European fans, right? We got the PBC fans, right? We got all the alliance. They're coming together for one common goal: to call out Canelo because apparently he's the problem with boxing. to call out Canelo because apparently out of all the things you have, okay, out of all the things you have to bitch about in the sport of boxing, Canelo's the one you need to target. And I notice it because you do most videos about it. You talk about it the most. You concentrate about it the most, which is fine, which makes sense. He's the biggest name in boxing. It makes total sense. All right? We need to understand, right? We need to put perspective on everything. So if a Canelo fan says, while Canelo's going to fight Ryder, top 5, super middleweight, and then Bivol, arguably the best 175 pounder on the planet, at the least number 2. That's at the least number 2. To me, he's number 1, but if you want to argue number 2, okay. That's his path, right? While Canelo does that, boy, how about just a suggestion? Well, what about Benavidez fights? If it's not going to happen, you know, maybe he could fight Morien? No, don't say that! You piece of shit! You're protecting Canelo! Like this is crazy. If I say that, how dare you say that? Don't say it! Don't say Morien! Don't say Boo Boo Andrade! Don't say Charlo! Stop protecting Canelo! Look, whatever, okay? Okay, fine, guys. Just fight the dude ranked 85th in the world, knock him out of 2. I don't give a fuck what you do. All right? I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck, but just whatever it is, like if you don't think he needs to do anything else, okay, whatever, dude, whatever, guys, okay, okay, he doesn't have to do anything. Just sit down and wait for Canelo, I guess, right? Because only guys that are lined up as potential Canelo opponents, only those guys do I see boxing fans give a pass for not fighting dudes. They're the only ones. If you, this is the reality. If Canelo is set, right, to fight Ryder and Bivol, anyone at 168, whether it's Charlo, Boo Boo, Benavidez, those guys, all of their fans will, and in this case, you could prove it. Just a lot of boxing fans, they act, right? They act like it is unreasonable, right? That it's uncalled for. That they act like asking them to fight some of the other top guys just isn't right. That somehow that is stopping fights from happening. You know what I mean? That's just the reality of the situation. At the end of the day. In no other division does anyone give passes to fighters for not fighting. In no other division does a guy fight a top opponent and then they just give him a pass. No other division. No other divisions do you hear guys say things like, well, you already fought that guy, so don't fight anybody else. You know what I mean? Only when a Canelo fight is a possibility for you, right? Do guys get a pass, and do guys get, they're basically given a jail out of free card, right? And hey, don't worry about it. You don't got to fight anybody else. Just wait right there for Canelo, right? That's the truth. And when that's pointed out, somehow that's protecting Canelo. When that's pointed out, somehow, some way, right? Somehow, some way, that's somehow you're caping for Canelo. That's twisted as, look, I'm going to screenshot this, and this is proof of a guy that's protecting Canelo. Somehow, that's what it becomes. And objectively speaking, that makes no fucking sense. I am sorry. No sense whatsoever. All right? At the end of the day. Make sure you guys hit my like button, by the way. You can make sure you do that. Okay? So, fine. I've gotten to the point, right? I've gotten to the point where I've already accepted, along with a lot of the dudes that don't like Canelo, that the guys in and around his weight class don't need to do anything, right? That Canelo needs to fight all of them, right? And they don't need to fight each other, right? If they do one fight, like, we need to give them nonstop praise, and that's it, right? So Benavidez finally fights Plant. This is just the facts. After years of beefing, right? All of a sudden, they finally fight. When Plant had the IBF, Benavidez had the WBC, and Canelo was nowhere to be found. Okay? Nowhere to be found. Like, Canelo, I don't know about you guys. I thought he was taking care of a lawsuit with Golden Boy in the zone. Right? So it wasn't Canelo. Canelo didn't stop these fights. Canelo didn't stop all these fights. Canelo didn't stop, Callum Smith. He didn't stop Billy Joe Saunders from fighting each other. They were both with Matchroom. He didn't stop Caleb Plant and Benavidez from fighting each other. They could have been in the mix. They could have been building their resume, right? They weren't doing any of that, right? These guys were not doing the things that they're saying Canelo should do when they were champions, okay? Not even close. Never happened. Benavidez loses his belt. Apparently, that's Canelo's fault, that he lost the belt on the scale. Apparently, for those that don't know, Benavidez was set to face Yildirim. That was his opponent. That was a fight that was set up. There's an interview with Caleb Plant saying we were talking about unification, but Benavidez needs to do a fight with Yildirim. Like, he literally said that. So when Benavidez lost the belt on the scale and Canelo started his campaign at 168, Canelo said, hey, I'll fight for the vacant WBC belt, but they twisted the words, okay? They twisted what was reported by saying, oh, Canelo requested to fight Yildirim for the belt. Now, granted, he didn't fight Yildirim for the belt. He fought the WBA Ring Magazine super middleweight champion Callum Smith for the vacant WBC belt. That ended up being a unification. That's number one, right? 2 months later, he took care of Yildirim, and 2 months later, he fought Billy Joe Saunders, all right? So it really became a non-factor. Like, he used them as a fucking tune-up. I'm just putting that out there, okay? My only point is, after all these years, and I'm glad they did. I'm glad David Benavidez and Caleb Plant fought, okay? But now there's a lot of projection going on. And by some of the fans that I'm seeing out here. And they're saying things like, oh, now that he beat Caleb Plant, Canelo's required to fight him. It's the only fight that could be made, right? That's what they're saying. Well, that Canelo's going to fight Ryder and Bivol, more than likely. I'm not against the Benavidez fight in September, but if it happens, it happens, whatever, okay? It is what it is. But if I have the audacity to just say, well, Canelo fights Bivol, like, it would be nice. Like, wouldn't, like, Benavidez Moreno be a good fight? I mean, dudes don't want to hear it. It's like, what the fuck's the matter with you guys? I thought you don't want to stop great fights from happening. What's wrong with that? Like, what? Why can't, like, I'm just saying, if it's not Moriel, Bubu Andrade, I think that's a good fight. I think the Charlo fight's a good fight. He doesn't have to do it, guys. I'm just saying that if he did those fights, you're telling me you wouldn't be waiting for those fights on Saturday night? I would love to see those fights. That's it. That's all some people are saying. Some people are just saying, hey, in the meantime, do this. Now, no, those are Canelo emotional fanboys. It's Canelo, what's going on, Lobito's Boxing Breakdown? How's it going, brother? No, that's a bunch of bullshit. That's just Canelo fans. They're doing it to protect. They're just praying and hoping Benavidez loses, and so Canelo never has to fight him. And, like, if you have Benavidez up here, and somebody beats him, and that guy is now in line to fight Canelo, isn't he a bigger threat for Canelo? Wouldn't that be a bigger threat for him? But no, like it's your ego. Okay, it's your ego as a boxing fan that you're being, just like Canelo's stubborn about fighting Bivol. A lot of you guys are being stubborn about this Benavidez fight. That it has to happen now, that it has to happen next, no matter what. And to me, that's a bunch of horseshit, bro. I'm sorry. No one's entitled to anything. Yes, you fought Plant. That's a great win. It raises your profile, no doubt about it. I do believe the Canelo fight should happen, right? That's me. That's my opinion. But it doesn't mean you're entitled to it, right? Or let me rephrase that. It doesn't mean you're entitled to it next, okay? Like now, immediately, like drop. Like it's not like drop what you're doing status. And you know who agrees with me? David Benavidez agrees with me. Because he said, no, I'm not ducking me. He's got like his own thing going on right now. He's got some business to take care of. Senior came out on an Instagram post just yesterday. And he said, hey, Canelo's not going to fight till May. Then he won't be back till September. So who would you guys like for us to fight next? And he put Andrade, Charlo, and Morel. Those are the names he put out. Those are the names he put. Simple as that. Okay? So that is, Jesus Sam, let's just call it neutral. Let's say no one's entitled, right? Let's just say that. I just went through a lot, brother. If you didn't comprehend anything I said, I don't know what to tell you. Like you know what I mean? I can't. I'm just going to repeat myself if I go over it again, Jesus. So tell me what you understood or what you didn't understand, and I could tackle that instead. All right? Because I don't think it was that complicated. But so abridge it for me. Like what do you mean by that statement? Like what does that mean? Right? Because at the end of the day, yes, the guy that unified the division and fought all the champions in 10 months flat and unified all the belts, okay, it's not unreasonable to say, okay, that he has some wiggle room to see who he wants to fight. And if they're good fights, all right, like elite fights, I don't see the problem. Right? I think Ryder's a good opponent. Not the best opponent, but it's a good opponent. Right? Fight coming out of surgery and then fighting Bivol. An elite fighter. One of the best in the world. So is it not hard? Is it hard to say? Is it too much to ask that maybe Benavidez and Charlo and Boo Boo, like instead of just waiting for Canelo to be finished with the Bivol business, that they maybe fight each other? Is that too much to ask? Maybe if anybody out there honestly feels that those guys should not fight each other and just wait on Canelo, fine, but just say that. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with that, but just say that. Say, no, I don't think those guys should fight each other. I don't have those expectations of them. They get to wait on Canelo. Just say that then. I'll respect people if they just say that. But that's what we're doing anyway. Right? At the end of the day. And out of all of them, yes, Benavidez has done the most by fighting Plant. That's it to me. He's in front of the line compared to all those guys, in my opinion. So yes, who you fight, of course, matters. But you have one career. Do you want to spend your career waiting around? Well, what has waiting around done for Charlo? He hasn't fought in 700 days. What has that done for him? What has that done for him? Tim Tszyu didn't wait around. Like Charlo got hurt. He could have waited, just waited for his title shot. He could have taken an easy tune-up and just, got it 2-3 rounds in. He could have done that. He could have done it. But guess what? Tim Tszyu said, And he said in interviews, said, I'm the best in this division. If I can't beat Harrison, I don't deserve a shot against Charlo. That's what he said. He said, you know what? Like, I believe I'm going to beat him. And if I can't beat him, I don't deserve the shot. That's a champion mentality at the end of the day, right? That's it. But I get it. I understand, guys. I get it. All right? If you're in Canelo's weight class, don't ask these guys to fight other top opposition. Only Canelo should do that. That's it, right? Because if they fight each other, right, then somehow that's protecting Canelo. That's not boxing. That's protecting Canelo. I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. All right? Shout out to Corsino. And shout out, brother. He says, David should fight another top 168. They're going to call you Canelo fanboy now, Corsino. Now you're part of the problem. You're protecting Canelo. That's your mission in life, to protect Saul Canelo Alvarez, because you would like to see David Benavidez fight another 168-pound fighter, a top guy, right? So it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? In other divisions where Canelo's nowhere to be found, guys fight other top dudes all the fucking time, right? Karma Serene, how's it going? He says, I think Moreno is fighting Ustakity, right? I see the dude strolling. It is what it is. Don't time him out. I'm all for free speech, so it is what it is, okay? As long as people don't spam or get too out of hand, you know, but here's the thing. Like, we can't always get what we want in life. You know what I mean? We can't always, and there's a thing called equity in life. Canelo's built a lot of equity over the years with his resume, with the guys he's fought, right? He's built a lot of equity. So anyone who acts like it's too much for these other guys to fight another top opponent, it's not, you guys are projecting. It's not Canelo fans protecting Canelo. It's you protecting. You're the ones acting weird when Moriel's name comes up. You know what I mean? I honestly think he fucks up Moriel. That's just my opinion. If I was on the David Benavidez train, and by the way, I'm a David Benavidez fan. I've been a fan of his longer than before a lot of dudes jumped on the fucking train. I've been following his career. I covered his years ago. I covered his brother Jose, and who I thought was going to be a future prodigy until we all know what happened to the leg. It is what it is. I think it's a shame. I do think he would have been a special fighter, but hey, things happen. David's the one now and holding it down, so shout out to them. But what I'm saying is, if I was riding that train and anybody brought up Moriel, my language would be different. I would be saying things like, well, why do you guys want to fuck up this Moriel? He only has 8 fights, man. He ain't ready for no David Benavidez. You want to throw him in there with David? David's going to eat this dude alive, bro. David's going to fuck up this dude's career. He ain't going to be no future world champion. Put him in there with David. David will fuck him up. That's how I would be talking. I want to be like, why are you trying to protect Canelo? Oh, Canelo. You're trying to protect him. Why? Don't put him in there, please. Don't put him in there, please. No. Yo, these dudes, they act weird. They just act weird when you bring up Morel's name. Like, is Morel really that dude like that? Like, because I've seen him fight, but maybe I got to watch him again. Maybe I'm missing some. Because he's good, don't get me wrong, but I mean, is he like that good? Like, is Morel like really that dude like that? That like it's a big risk? Like, oh, no. Whoa. You want to put him in there with Morel? You know? And what's the name of the forearm dude in Mortal Kombat? You guys remember the name? You know, like the forearm dude. What was his name? Like, I don't want to Google it. So can somebody give me the name? Does anybody remember? dudes are acting like that. That's what they're doing. Like Goro, yeah, go like he's Goro, and we keep putting Goros and like, oh no, fight Goro first, you know. Like they're making it sound like it's Dickstown, like he's gonna have to fight Moriel, and then Canelo's gonna come out with like the money in the bag suitcase and then cash it in, you know, and fight a tired Benavidez right afterwards or something. It's just crazy, bro. I'm just saying. Shout out to Remy. I was putting that out there, right? Bro, Remy, I know a lot of people that name their dogs Canelo. It's funny, but I know a lot of people that do that. Goro! Like he's Goro, guys. Like, watch out. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't even think he needs to fight Moriel, because I don't put Moriel like up there right now. That's me, right? So I wasn't even thinking about Moriel. Like it's whatever to me. Like, you know what I mean? But fine. Don't fight anybody. Just wait on Canelo. Like, fine. That is acceptable to boxing fans. Just wait around. Like, imagine saying that to like Virgil. Like, oh, don't fight Stanionis. He's too dangerous. Wait for your shot. Wait for your shot. Don't fight anybody. Just don't fight Stanionis. You know, like, what are we doing? And then let's say he does fight Stanionis, right? Let's say Virgil fights Stanionis and beats him. I'm ready for a Boots fight. I'm going to be honest. I'm ready for Virgil versus Boots. No, don't do it. Why not? Like, if the Crawford Spence fight ain't going to happen, I'm all for it. Like, I'm not going to protect Virgil. I'm not going to be like, no, don't do it. Like, at that point, you have a regular strap at the very least. You have a win over Stanionis. I don't want you to go backwards. And I don't want you to wait on Crawford or Spence either. Right? I would prefer the Crawford or Spence fight for him. Right? But I'll take a Boots fight. That's me. It's going on record. Simple as that. Let's do it. All right? I'm ready for it. Let's go. Virgil beats Boots, and I've been saying it for the last 2 years. He beats him. All right? After you saw that last fight, you guys still believe in Boots like that? It is what it is, okay? So, and people talking about opportunity. Canelo can't fight everybody. This isn't Dickstown. He can't fight everybody at once. This isn't the Royal Rumble. He's already fighting Ryder, and then he's going to fight Bivol. What, do you want him to come back? So Canelo needs to fight every 2 months and fight everybody, right? No, I want him to fight Benavidez. Well, guess what? I want Crawford Spence. It's not happening. But I'll take Crawford Virgil, right? And if they don't fight Virgil, I'll take Virgil versus Boots, right? I'm not crying spilled milk. Like, oh, they're not giving Virgil the opportunity, so don't take any chances. Just fight a bunch of tune-ups. Just wait on them. Like, nah, bro. Like, enough of that shit. That's just my opinion. It's my opinion. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. It is what it is. Hit my like button, though. You know what I mean? Hit the like. All right. All right. There we go. The likes are matching the live. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Karma, I agree. Like, Spence and Crawford should probably move up. Like, you know what I mean? And just leave the division of Boots and Spence and all the other guys, that are there, in my opinion. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I have no idea. Now, I want to talk about neutrality, right? I want to talk about, like, is neutrality a real thing in boxing? Like being neutral and when it comes to boxing. And here's what I'm going to say, guys, and many may not even like what I'm going to say, but all of us, todos, Y cuando digo todos, digo todos. Todos, todos. Everyone. Every single person. Okay? Every single person that watches boxing has their favorites. Everybody. Every single no, not me. I'm neutral. I'm just a boxing fan. I don't root for anybody. I don't hope somebody. When I watch a boxing fight, I'm not hoping one of the guys wins. I'm not like not me. I'm neutral. I watch with neutrality the whole time, and whatever happens, and that's it, right? Some guys claim that. Some guys pretend that's what they do. Their pattern of behavior, if you pay attention to them, doesn't really show that. You can literally see their favorites, right? And I've done this thought experiment. I've done it with several content creators that have favorites, right? But say they don't have favorites. And the way I'll do the thought experiment is I'll ask the most random people, hey, who's so-and-so's favorite fighters? And they'll name me the same fucking fighters. They'll name the same ones, right? So nobody's being slick here. Like no one is like really getting away with it, right? Like no one really is. Why is boxing the only sport that I know of? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this happens in other sports where people pretend like they're not rooting for a specific fighter a lot of the times. Maybe not every time, but a lot of the times, right? Like, I'll be honest. I like Jesus Ramos. I want to see what his future brings. You know, I was rooting for him. I didn't like Spencer, and I wanted him to knock Spencer out. And I thought he would, and he did. And I loved it, right? I thought it was great. All right? I thought it was awesome. I wasn't sitting down like, oh, I'm neutral. I'm just gonna like watch the fight with neutral eyes, and whatever happens, happens. Maybe in fights where I don't know who the fuck they are, I do that, but I don't really do that. And I know a lot of you don't do that. Okay? I think you're full of shit. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100. Right? I don't think that's the thing. I'm not a fan of fighters at all. I'm just a fan of boxing. I just watch the fight with a neutral set of eyes, and whatever happens, happens. I just report what happens. Yeah, I do predictions, but those are just predictions. I just watch with a neutral set of eyes. No, you don't. Because we're not wired that way. Sports are designed for you to cheer for one side. That's why there's a red corner and a blue corner. That's why when one guy lands punches, you hear the crowd cheer for one guy, not the other. That's why one guy gets booed and another guy gets cheered by different parts of the crowd. That's what makes the event. If everybody was like that, if everybody was just neutral, and like if everybody like who would go and just be neutral at a boxing event? Who? I'm just gonna go sit down, just sit there. I'm not gonna cheer or boo anybody. You would hear crickets. Everything would be boring, right? Nobody would be chanting "Si se puede" when Marquez was fighting. Okay, like nobody would be. Chavez wouldn't have his legion of fans, right? Cuevas wouldn't have had his fans. Olivares wouldn't have had his fans. Okay, my grandfather was a fan of Ruben Olivares, openly. That's who he cheered for. That's who he went for. Win, lose, or draw. That was his dude. Pajarito Moreno. That was his win, lose, or draw. That was his dude. That's who he cheered for. Right? He got knocked out. Fuck. Shit. He lost. But that's my dude, though. Olivares, ese es el campeón mexicano. That's the dude that represents me. I'm going for him. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's normal. It's perfectly normal to go for specific fighters and cheer for them. That doesn't mean it should be blind. That doesn't mean don't be objective. Like if they get their ass kicked, hey, they got their ass kicked. Like, you know what I mean? Accepting loss, that's different. Of course, you got to accept the losses. Of course, you take the wins. Of course, right? That's easy. Of course, but it's normal to cheer for fighters and root for fighters and hope specific fighters win. That's normal. At the end of the world for national victims, please. Yeah, man. That's sad. I hate to say this, but it's just another day. There's a mass shooting every day in this country. This is a lot worse. There was kids that were shot. So it's terrible. So thoughts and prayers to the family. No doubt about it. Man, Remy just like, I was like starting to like, and I'm like, damn, fuck, damn, bro. Hey. So, to try to get back to the boxing, but shout out to the families. So you have to, and there's nothing wrong with hoping a dude loses either. Just be honest about it. It's frustrating watching dudes act like they're neutral, but they obviously don't like Canelo. And everybody tells me, oh, that dude obviously doesn't like Canelo. Like it's obvious. But like they're in denial or something. It's okay to say, hey, I don't like, so I hope he gets knocked the fuck out. But just say it. Just say, I don't like the dude. What did I just say that 5 minutes ago? I want Spencer to get knocked the fuck out. I don't like the dude. I don't like what he said about, he was spreading lies about Glovegate and he was doing the rounds in the channels and shit. You know what I mean? Like I didn't like that. So I said, I want Jesus Ramos, okay? A fellow Mexican. I wanted to see him do good. So what? So the fuck what? I have no shit. That's being fucking parent. That's what that is. That's being honest. That's what that is. But somehow people try to turn it against you. They try to flip it on you, right? They try to, you're just a fanboy. Oh, you like fighters. I'm just a fan of the sport. Let me adjust my tie. Look at what are you talking about? I'm just a fan of the sport. Oh, yeah. I'm just a fan of the sport. That's it. I'm neutral. I just sit and I watch with neutral eyes. I don't root for anybody. I just watch the sport because I'm just a fan of boxing. And I'm a fan of the neutrality of it. Like what are you, like, so you don't have a vested interest like when they're fighting, like in terms of who you want to win and bullshit. I call bullshit on anybody who claims that. Bullshit. When you're watching, you're hoping one of those motherfuckers wins, and you know you are. I don't give a fuck who it is, and you have a right to whoever it is. But you damn well know. You know you're hoping one dude wins and one dude loses in most cases. Like I said, yes, you'll run into fights that you don't know who the fuck they are. That some Pakistani dude's going to fight a dude from India. Fuck it. I hope it's a good fight. That's cool. You know what I mean? I agree, Apple, 100%. 100%. But my point still stands. Even Fight Dog, we all have our favorite. We absolutely do have our favorites. Everybody has their favorites, and everybody has the dudes they don't like. And you're allowed to. Boo whoever you want. Cheer for whoever the fuck you want. Do it. I encourage anybody to be transparent and honest, and just be honest though. Just be honest. Be like the mafioso, okay? Not the political dude. All right? Be like the mafioso. Be like the mobster who understands what he's doing and doesn't try to act holier than thou and shit, okay? Because you know what we're all doing? We're watching a brutal fucking sport is what we're doing, right? we don't have room to be all moral and high and mighty and holier than thou. And when we're watching a sport where dudes are getting concussed, knocked the fuck out, okay, losing brain cells every other fight, okay, taking beatings, bleeding all over the place, getting taken to hospitals. There's about 10 deaths a year in the sport, okay. There's dudes that choose, many just accepted. Okay, this is a dirty fucking sport. Okay, we don't have room to be like all high and mighty and this and that and da-da-da. We're just be the mafioso that acknowledges what the fuck you're doing, what we're watching, and what we're watching. Okay. We're bloodthirsty motherfucker. That's what you are, okay? Accept it, right? That's what you are. You're not watching volleyball. You're not watching tennis, all right? I'm just saying. Root for who the fuck you want to root for, and boo for whoever the fuck you want to boo, right? You are never going to see me mad because somebody's not rooting for a fighter I like, ever. I might talk some shit. But that's part of the deal. That's part of the game. That's the whole point. Oh, let me tell you something. All right? Many of our grandfathers, because a lot of us, I'm assuming, are second, third generation boxing fans. A lot of us had our grandfathers watch boxing. Our fathers watch boxing. Our uncles watch boxing. We're watching boxing. Right? Don't make them turn over their graves because you're a neutral fan. All right? Pretending to not like anybody. You know what I mean? Pretend like don't do that. Right? You know you have your favorites, and we all do. And we all have the fighters we don't like. That's just the truth. I don't like neutrality. Or guys that act like they're neutral. Guys that act like, I don't root for fighters, man. I just love the sport. We all love the sport. We all do, okay? We all love the sport. All of us do. But when two guys walk into the ring, you have some interest. You're rooting for somebody. I don't care. If you have a pulse, if you have a beating heart, if you have any slight understanding of what the fuck we're watching, you're rooting for somebody. Point blank. Are there cases where there's two fighters you like and they're going to have to fight each other and, hey, it's got to happen? Of course. Like that happens. Of course. Yes, there's exceptions to the rule. Yes. Sometimes I like both guys. I just hope it's a great fight. I don't like either guy. I hope they both get knocked the fuck out. I hope they knock each other out. Of course it happens. But in most cases, you're going to root for somebody. In most cases, you have your favorites. You all do. I don't care. I don't give a fuck who you are. You all have your favorites. And you know you do. And you know you do. Everybody. I don't believe in this neutrality thing. Only in boxing. No other sport do people do this. No other sport. When people say, I'm a fan of Nadal, like nobody calls them fanboys and says, oh, just watch the sport for what it is. Don't root for anybody. Like just watch the tennis match and whoever may the best man win. Stop rooting for Nadal. Nobody does that. People were saying, "Oh, I hope Messi wins the World Cup," right? I hope that whatever it is, I hope the Dallas Cowboys win a Super Bowl. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, right? Not me, by the way. I'm just hypothetical. I root for the Buffalo Bills. Some people laugh. Oh, they lost 4 Super Bowls. It is what, but that's what I root for. That's what I go for. When I watch, I don't say when the Bills are playing. I'm not. No, nobody says I don't care who wins. I just want to see a good football game. Whoever wins, wins. I'm just going to watch the football get passed and ran. When there's first, like 1 yard to go for the first down. I don't care who gets it, who doesn't get it. I'm not hoping anything. Not at all. Not whatsoever. Simple as that. I'm glad Boxing Dialogue brought this up. Okay? Probably brought this up. By the way, anybody in chat, everybody's entitled to their opinion. It is what it is. Okay? At the end of the day, you're here. You know what I mean? You don't got to be here. You know what I mean? Anybody's allowed to leave whenever they want. Like, nobody's forced to be here. But you're here, right? So it is what it is, you know? But it's whatever. But Boxing Dialogue just said, what's this about some 3-fight contract for Benavidez? Here's the other thing I wanted to bring up. Let's say, hypothetically, Canelo says, all right, let's do a fight in September, Benavidez. Let's go. Come over here. You're going to come to the zone. Why the zone? Because I'm the bigger name. I'm bringing most of the revenue. I have the better resume. I have all the belts. Is there anything Canelo doesn't? I mean, is there anything he doesn't have? He has everything. $10 million, the same shit I pay Plan and Billy Joe. Let's go. For all the belts. Come to the zone. Right here. I could guarantee you anything. That won't happen. I couldn't bet anything on it. Anything. I'll bet anything on it. All right? That will not happen. I can promise you that will not happen. But how can you say that? Because Benavidez is, by the way, I don't think people should die for boxing. That's a little too much, but I hear your point, though. We don't need people like stabbing each other and stomping each other in the stands, you know, but although they have fought in the stands, maybe that's a bit much, but you know what I'm saying. But oh man. But Benavidez, he has a contract with PBC. Canelo is free to go wherever he wants. He should come to Showtime. I guess. Right? I guess so. That's going to be the arguments that's going to be made. Like, there's going to be people arguing that Canelo should go to PBC to make the fight happen. We're not even there yet. Like this fight hasn't even been proposed yet, but that's where it's going to go. And people are ignoring that. Like, people are just acting like that's not going to be a thing. And no, Canelo shouldn't just go over there. All right? Canelo should just go to Showtime and just, for what? That's bullshit to me. Hit my like button, by the way. One more for 40. Let's hit 40, guys. 40 an hour, not bad. Not bad. We could do better, but we'll get there one day, you know? I have a dream. So, Benavidez and PBC are going to have to be realistic and just understand that Canelo's going to call the shots on where the fight happens. Like, point blank. Okay? Will Boxing, I don't think they'll be the same energy at all. Like, they're going to, just like they did with the Plant situation, they're going to flip it. And they're going to make, but here's the problem. Like, they don't have, like, Benavidez isn't holding a belt hostage right now. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Okay. They could hold off for purse bids if the fight gets ordered. They could do that. And if it gets ordered, then they have a shot to beat Matchroom's, deal, right? At purse bids. But they're going to have to put up a lot of money for Canelo if they do that. So, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? That's all I'll say about that. Where are we at? We're at 44 likes. The likes matching the live. All right. See, Havlan, but you still hit the like button though, because like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? The love is there. Look, I do believe that David will fight one of those three guys that I mentioned next. I think it will be a great fight, something to be excited about. And I do believe David versus Canelo will be in the works next year. And if they wait for next year, they can maybe offer Canelo something PBC can, and maybe it does happen on PBC. But as of right now, he's working with this year anyway. He's working with Matchroom. You know what I mean? But maybe they'll wait for the purse bid. I'm not sure. But whatever way it goes, we're going to see the fight. Okay, the fight will happen. The fight will take place, and that is that. Okay. I'll be live with Calix in a few hours, guys. So everybody, make sure you tune in on Calix's channel. All right. This is D-Style Boxing. Keep it boxing. I'm out of here. I'll leave you with this. The Canelo haters are going to hate this one. So I'll just play this and I'll roll out.
With his trainer, Eddie Reynoso, wearing black with white, also weighing in at 167.6 pounds. In his professional career, 54 victories, including 36 big wins by knockout, only one defeat with 2 draws, and he's undefeated for 6 years, and considered by many to be, pound for pound, the best in the world. He's the former 2-time light middleweight world champion, former middleweight world champion, former light heavyweight world champion, the reigning, defending super middleweight champion of the world, damas y caballeros de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México, presentando al gran campeón, Saúl